Welcome back, or should I just say welcome? Welcome back to, if you're viewing the stream, welcome to the first premiere episode of the IPSL Podcast, the International Paisho League. I am your host, Frugal YT. I'm currently rank 10 in the world. Didn't do great last week, and I'm just very passionate about the game. And so, me and my co host Gab have decided to make a podcast. Gab, introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, I'm Gab, as Frug said. I don't know my ranking. Is it fifth, fourth? Like it varies, but yeah, I've been playing as well, and I sort of like the game as well. Maybe not as much as Frug, but yeah.
I don't know if that's true. He's probably been more active than I have in his history. He came and he stayed. Most players come and go, and that's why we're trying to change a few things. We're trying to get a little competitive scene going and promote the game because there's not a lot to do, and so people just join and leave. So, the podcast is going to work very simply. Every week, we're going to do game reviews on the weekly games. Right now, we're actually in the middle of week 4. So, since we had this idea at the beginning and we never got around to it, we're going to be pulling games this week from the prior 3 weeks, but after that, it'll just be games from the last week. We'll do a game of the week segment, and then we'll run through some quick stats, um, give a few prompts for questions from the audience for what y'all want next. And that'll be it. It'll be a good little weekly show talking about Paisho, good little game theory, and yeah, the first game. We have a week 1 competitive match between X, who I think at the time was rank 10, and Holly Elf, who is our reigning champ, reigning IPSL champ. He won last year against Duat. Some might say he's the GOAT. Gab?
Um, well, you mean Holyelf or you mean Dua?
Duat. I'm glazing Duat.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you can do that. Dua has a good history, like competitively speaking. Um, I don't know if he's the greatest of all time. Uh, but again, I wasn't here before Duet came along, so I wouldn't be able to like compare him to like other past champions.
That's fair. Gab's a visionary. He sees the game as having a lot more potential than what we've reached so far, and I think he's converted me to that idea. I do agree with him, especially with recent metas that have come out, um, and also with Duat taking a somewhat break from the Scud scene, Holly Elf taking over that number 1 spot. And so in this first game, we're going to run through it real quick. X is playing host versus Holly Elf, and Holly Elf decides to play a 4 opening. Now Holly Elf is pretty popular with the 4, I think, right, Gab? Would you say? I'm gonna pause it here. Holly Elf plays a good amount of
Yeah,
4s.
yeah. I think 4-5, same color 4-5 is one of Holyel's preferred openings. It's kind of like a tricky opening to play as host because you don't really have much of a choice. Most moves are forced in some of the lines. So we'll see here, for example, X chooses like a specific line that I don't particularly like, which is 4 rushing and then defending the 4. Because usually when you rush against Holy Elf will tend to plant north, threatening to take. And I've analyzed this sort of position in the past. I don't think it is that much of a problem to lose the 4 in this position here, which is why if I play a 4 rush against Holy Elf, if I play this sort of position, I tend to let Holy Elf just take the 4. But we'll see here if you choose the non-gambit option of this sort of line, it gets really interesting because then guest gets the opportunity to sort of like completely gate block the position, which makes host lose an extra turn. So as you guys know, host like starts with like um, starts behind a tempo, and this sort of idea of like getting like a full gate blocking host allows guests to like get another tempo in addition to the extra tempo that guest starts with. So yeah,
So,
we're gonna
clearing
see
things
this
up,
now a
you're
bit.
saying that gate blocking as guest gives you yet another turn ahead, or are you saying gate
Yeah,
blocking as host?
yeah, no, you gain an extra tempo by gate blocking as guest.
Guest.
You always have to like keep track of how many flowers are on the board, right? Because you always have to keep in mind like the outwin, and so you don't want to really stay behind, which is why, in theory, if one of the players plants a third gate, the objective of the other player is to plant a second gate, sorry, a second flower to sort of keep up. Um, and but this sort of line, we'll see that uh, it will get into a position where Holy Elf will have 4 flowers on the board and X only have 1.
So what Gab is talking about here is Holly Elf plays the 4 in behind to threaten this capture, but also to make the prospect of planting west for X a little less appealing, since he will no longer have that 4. But Gab is saying it is usually better to just sacrifice that northern tile and keep developing by just planting so you can avoid being gate blocked. However, as we see here, X does not do that. He falls for this threat and lets Holyelf play his 3 in, which sets Holyelf up for quite the standard approach here with a normal
If I
5 to L.
if I can interrupt for a sec, if you go back a few moves, I think there's also like a different line you can take while rushing the 4, which is you can definitely rush the 4 into the opposite quadrant, as in the correct garden, and that would effectively nullify any potential threat. I don't actually know what Holyaf would like respond to like such an opening, but that could also be like a different line from the specific position, which doesn't require the quote unquote gambit of like giving up the 4.
Understood. I think at X right here when he moves, is this what he does? Yes, he moves here. He's trying to maintain a middle ground between the west and north gate because he thinks this is what Holyelf is most likely to evacuate. Holyelf gate blocks, forcing X into another move where he's still not committing. And it doesn't majorly pay out because Holyelf just continues his threat with his northern 4, which X bites on once again. And we are now at move 6. X has 1 piece on the board. Holyelf is up 4 planted
Yeah,
flowers and material.
yeah. So if X had avoided the threat by moving elsewhere, then he would have had the chance to plant whatever flower in whatever gate was open at the time, which is why I'm not 100% sure that the gambit is like the best line in this sort of opening, because in theory, if you sort of like, yeah, you can also like move back, you can move away, um, um, and like the opposite direction, as I said earlier, and maybe that has some potential, but I haven't studied it myself. But I would encourage like listeners to just give it a look as well and just figure like the opening out for themselves, because I think it's also like a very interesting line in general to consider as host. Rushing as host is usually very dynamic because the alternative, like the meta right now, is that host tends to like gate block, and so guest oftentimes doesn't even expect. Sorry, guest doesn't expect to face a rush opening, and I do think they do have potential, and we might see more rush openings in the future, especially a 4 rush is not as played, but I do think it has potential. So we'll see.
Gab does play this opening. I've seen games between him and Holly Elf, the number one player, where he leaves that northern four stranded and has very good positioning up to the mid game, which is where things get tricky in Paisho. The opening can be solved. That's my personal belief, is that since there are a few pieces on the board, the openings can be solved. But once it gets to about move 16, it really becomes a game of who doesn't blunder, who can think a little bit deeper, and who knows when to switch from harmonies to alts. All right, so we see Holly Elf no longer wants to do the whole game where he fiddles around with that four. He blocks he blocks this harmony, continues development. X needs a piece down here so that he can block without spending accent tiles. And he is defending like this. Oh, okay, the game was actually only 14 moves. So here he still doesn't want to give. Oh, he's in accent lock. This is a term I'm coining, accent lock, when you have no available harmonies. This is when checkmates happen in Paisho, is when there is an accent lock. That's why this new meta of um, getting to a point where playing accents early can get you checkmates, which Holly Elf shows us here. And I think here is a checkmate. Can we think of a move that X could have done to not lose in this situation? I think this is checkmate on move 13G.
It is checkmate in this position. I think X could have avoided getting checkmated by planting, I think, a chrysanthemum east earlier.
Yeah, maybe here, maybe on move 11, maybe
Yeah.
even earlier. Very interesting game.
But yeah, there's always like this sort of risk when you're left with like little to no harmonies, and Holly Elf is really good at like keeping track of that and like abusing whatever gap you might leave in this sort of situation by again blocking with tiles or using accents. So, as a rule of thumb, in the opening, you always want to have at least two uh, different potential harmonies uh, in different areas of well of the in different gardens, yeah, on the board. Because if they're if even if they're too close, if you have like two different potential harmonies, but if they can be blocked with like a single accent, effectively only counts as one. So yeah, as a
You
rule
need
of
at
thumb,
least
yeah,
two
if
harmonies that cannot be blocked by one accent tile.
yeah, pretty much.
Which I think people have gotten
Which is
good
what.
at. This
Hmm?
opening is so strange for X. I don't think he's ever had to play this before. He says in the chat, he says Holly Elf agrees with me, saying 11H needs to be a chrysanthemum plant. Good catch on that.
Nice.
And X just is really upset with how he plays, which that happens. I played a game. Thankfully, we're not reviewing that game against Minky last week, where I used 18 accents in the first three moves and got destroyed. So happens to all of us. But for the next match,
By the way, maybe we should introduce like Minkey as well. Minkey, I think, is currently what, third, second in like the PSL thing.
oh, okay. So there's two different rankings: IPSLC points, which have to do with how many games you've won in the league, and then your ELO ranking. Minky is one of my favorite players. For some reason, I can never beat him, and he is rank. This me and X and him kind of flop between 8, 9, and 10. So I think he right now is maybe 9 or 8, either in front or behind X. I know I'm at the back of the pack this week, but yeah.
Yeah, and then we've seen X already. I think most people know X. Great player. But yeah, we're gonna look at this game because it's actually a really interesting game. And we were talking like pre-stream, the Minkey does a really interesting opening as host, which we haven't really seen yet. So we're gonna take a look at that. But yeah, we're seeing a mirrored opening. X opens with like a 3-5, 3 opposite 5. Now, fun fact, because up until the Black Sun tournament, X used to play the invasion line of the 3-5. And the reason why he doesn't play that anymore is because of the 3-4-5 same color opening that host can do in response to like the invasion, which is particularly is strong against like a standard 3-5 as well, but it's particularly strong against the invasion line specifically because while invading you're sort of forced to like go into one of these 4 squares, right?
The L's. I've named them the L's.
The what?
I've named them L's for the shape,
Else? Okay,
like the letter.
sure, yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Any combination of 1 or -1.
Anyway, yeah, cool. Now we're seeing like a standard 3-5, and this is like X's standard opening, uh, which usually goes like this. It develops and then tends to still go here, but the advantage of not invading is that you sort of have the opportunity to like develop in other spaces as well, which can allow for like an easier pivot if you want to go for like a vertical threat, for example, later on in the game. And we're seeing a mirrored opening here. And here we're seeing Minkey planting a second Jasmine. Now, this is sort of standard, right? In like a host opening.
I don't know.
Right? Because
I think this is pretty strange. If you normally this puts you 1 move behind and you're not gate blocking. So we can tell he's obviously doing this to gain an extra accent because he'll have a harmony with no ability to plant. So he's forcing himself to use an accent. I think his idea is to get his move advantage with this accent that's going to come from one of the threes.
right, okay. No, because usually we see hosts take this sort of like quote unquote waiting move that, as you said, loses a tempo, but that ensures that a host cannot be gate blocked and has access to like a first threat, and it's also pretty common in like a guess scenario, like in this position here, for example, we might often see like a second plant here, which again, yeah, it loses tempo, but it ensures that you can plant another 5 with like one of the 2 harmonies that are coming up. But yeah, so X prefers to not lose that tempo, and Minkey does. And so we're seeing this sort of line. Now, I think last year, a really common pattern after this position was to block the upcoming harmony, but we're not going to see that. We're seeing this, which is, as you said, uses the harmony to plant an accent, which effectively blocks the upcoming harmony anyway. And now this might look strange because, well, it's not a midline harmony because it goes through the center. But we're gonna see like a cool pattern here from Minkey that will sort of explain the idea behind it. Now, X is sort of forced to develop without you making a harmony, and which is also like this sort of position illustrates why it's it's really impactful to block this harmony, and the reason is because if host plays defensively, host can just plant here, for example, and then sort of like block and develop horizontally while defending against this first threat. If this harmony hadn't been blocked, then gas would have planted here, and this would have been possible. But here we're seeing again a different idea, which is breaking this harmony and sort of setting up this one. Again, gas could have blocked, but we're not gonna see that.
I
We're
think
seeing the
here, if you don't
plant.
mind me adding a little thing, I
No,
think
go for it.
the interesting thing here is that in normals Paisho, these openings, especially the 3-5 standard, they all have their first ring threat at move 8G. That's like the truth of Paisho is the eighth move is usually the first ring threat for most of these openings that are very standard. So what Minkey's done here is I don't want to spoil anything, but the reason he doesn't continue to play defense here and does a seemingly progressive and offensive move of moving his rhododendron to that L, to that -1 L, is because he knows that he actually has a win on move 8, which I didn't know about until he showed it to me the other day, and is probably the reason I think is what I think the new meta is in Paisho is using these early accents.
But yeah, we're seeing a plant just X just accepts being behind a tempo, and planting here is usually fine because well, host doesn't really have the opportunity to block it, and I block the upcoming harmony anyway. But yeah, so this is sort of the idea, right? Planting a 5 and then going here and boating, right?
Yep.
And so this is technically a threatening one, and we're gonna see how X responds. X responds by using an outwit of his own, and well, Minkey uses a second accent here to block what would have been otherwise again a ring threat as well. And so X now just blocks the upcoming harmony, and by making this new harmony, further develops. And now we're seeing the plant here, as I mentioned earlier. I think. What do you think of this idea here? Just planting instead of developing. Maybe here.
I think that's pretty concrete. I really feel like there was a misplay with that rock. I think he should have played that rock on the 5 since that was the go-to out here. You know, I feel like I guess
Well, like where here?
I'm trying to think of. Yeah. I think the best move here is to put that rock on the Y1. Any spot on Y1 just because that move of harmonizing your 5 and blocking the ring threat is so like
Wait, Y1? It's like here.
yeah, like right there because for the next move on 9G X is able to block and develop. But if Minky had played that rock onto
Oh,
Y1, he would have been forced to play a an accent, I feel like.
well, no. I think he could have still like blocked here,
But
but he wouldn't have.
he wouldn't have gotten that harmony.
Yeah. He wouldn't have gotten the harmony. So that's true. Yeah. But then,
But for
Yeah. No,
theoretics
no, I see
aside, we're
it.
doing a game
Yeah,
review.
yeah. Um, and yeah, we're seeing this preemptive plant here um, is technically, well, planted specifically to block the upcoming threat. Now, my question was rather on. I understand the defensive plant here
Yeah.
to block the upcoming threat, but I was wondering whether moving here and making the winning one sort of would
Yeah.
have been better instead of
Maybe.
planting. I don't
I'm
know.
agreeing with you. I think so too, since you could develop that 3 and keep a yeah.
Yeah, because I think Minky here just plays harmonizes and plants an orchid, which isn't particularly useful in this position. I get the idea behind not wasting the harmony, but then yeah, it just helps to block further, I suppose. But do you really need to block this horizontal harmony?
Yeah.
Is it you do?
No, I'm saying I agree with you because yeah, I think
Yeah,
he would have been much better to pursue that ring threat because
because
um,
yeah,
that 4 move is obvious. I think he can play that 5 up high, and now he has another ring threat, and he keeps developing. So I think X is a little bit better in this position if I had to choose
yeah,
one.
and we're gonna see X just abuse this sort of idea here, just planting. And now the problem with having more than one flower planted growing is obviously that um, you well you can't just contact harmonize and then plant again. So you either have to choose whether you want to plant um, or harmonize, I guess, or develop. So we're gonna see this, and again, just further developing, and we can already see a sort of advantage fully developed. X has more flowers on the board, has used like only one accent, and is also closer to like the Altwin. So yeah, we're gonna see Minky blocking the threat, and then X further developing. This sort of idea here is pretty standard, right? Like planting an orchid to deal with like an already present orchid on the board.
Yeah, I think that's legitimate. I think raising that going north with that ring gives I don't know what the next move is, but it gives Minkey in like the reason to clear his northern gate.
I
Um,
mean,
but I do think yeah, that orchid move is pretty standard, especially since Minkey has such a little piece development and a freeze is useful.
mm-mm-mm.
But what is the next move? Does he? Yeah, he moves that north
Just blocks.
5 out.
Hmm.
Standard stuff.
Which is it's in this specific position is good, but then uh, this is where like you realize that this plant that originally threatened um, the ring threat is now used defensively. So effectively, Minky has to give up on making a threat to fully defend, and we're gonna see sort of the positions like fall apart from this point onwards. That's it's actually like pretty standard. Like when a player has to give up building a drone threat, things can like escalate really quickly.
Yep. This is all pretty. I'm seeing now how the tempo shifts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're seeing well the dragon, I guess, develop, and then uh, supposed to like try and deal with like the other dragon as well. The orchid. Sorry. But yeah.
So what is this white 3 plan? What is that host white 3
Huh?
plan?
Oh, the white 3. I think the plan here is to block this harmony, right?
Yeah. You think he goes lower so that he can move that 5 down? Move the
You
red
don't
5
really
down?
have. Well, maybe in this position, and like the third 5 would have been better, right?
Maybe a white 4. Oh, he can't
Because
play the
yeah,
white 4.
like because if you if this had been like a rhododendron, then this would have blocked the harmony and sort of allowed for like development, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's hard to make that call.
Yeah. We're seeing this move here, which hello?
Yep.
Hello.
Who joined? Where?
Sage,
Oh,
we're filming a podcast. We're kicking you out.
yeah,
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.
Well, no, we can ask X.
X,
Can
we're
you
reviewing
explain to us
your
this?
game right now.
Yeah. Can you explain to us
Wait,
this move here? So
not
like,
really.
oh, okay.
When was this game? Like
It was week
weeks
1.
ago. Okay.
Week 2? Week 2 friendly.
Sure.
Yep. We're trying to figure
Yeah,
out what was the idea behind this
yeah.
change.
I just did a move.
Right. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I understand that, but like, because I feel like you usually favor just dynamic moves and planting and stuff. So I don't understand why you didn't go for like something like this.
Yeah, I was
yeah.
thinking that too. Maybe
True.
a white 3
You're
behind
right,
it.
of course. Yeah, would make more sense.
Because
Hey,
I don't know, maybe, or were you like going for like this sort of idea? Maybe I don't know.
Possible.
Okay.
it's interesting
I
stuff. We're reviewing 3 of your
yeah.
games today, X. So you're just on the chopping block
Which
today.
games? Which
This
games?
one
Yeah.
against Minky, we just reviewed your game
Okay,
against Holly
good.
Elf in the very beginning where you got,
That was terrible. Yeah.
yeah, and then the next one is maybe me against you? I think me against
Oh
you.
God, terrible. Yeah,
I
no.
can't remember that game. I thought it was interesting, but I can't remember. But yes, we do need to get through these
Okay.
games because we're taking our sweet time. I can't lie.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's nearly 3 a.m. here. Let's go.
Oh,
All right, just press
great.
play and just try to narrate on the go.
All right. Okay. So we're seeing this sort of development, which is, I mean, expected once you plant the jasmine to block the vertical harmony. Wait.
Hmm.
Yeah, is this? Yeah.
So
So
winning
I guess
2,
a threading two. Yeah. Oh, but
he plants
it doesn't even allow to pivot.
stouts.
Yeah, because you'd think, oh no, it's a pivot, right? It pivots
Yeah,
it
no
pivots
rock.
vertically, but it
Yeah, I
doesn't.
forgot about it.
So
Yeah.
But it'll help him get a 5 out, which he needs to get one of them
yeah,
jades out.
true that.
Um,
And then we're seeing Minky sort of blocking the threading two and then planting.
okay. Interesting decision from X here.
Yeah, I mean developing on the quote unquote correct side is okay. Again, it sort of
Play.
loses tempo.
Yeah,
It
lose the
sort of
tempo.
loses tempo.
Also, I feel like maybe you play that one move wider so that you actually do have a ring threat if you plant north on the next move because of that.
Oh, so like here.
Yeah, just move there since that knotweed up top will
Yeah.
block your ring threat.
Mm. Oh yeah. No, yeah. It's that's
All
true.
right, so next,
Yeah, we're
standard
seeing
stuff.
the pivot that we're talking about.
He still has a ring threat
Uh,
with the jade and the wheel.
Oh,
And
was it?
he still has that ring threat with the jade in the wheel. Does Minkey has a win in 2, maybe? Or what does he got?
Yeah.
I feel like he doesn't. He's got to
Um,
wait so long. So you just
no,
develop
I
that
think
jade.
this, right? And then, oh,
Yeah, but he
well,
came
no,
with that
because
4 inside, so
yeah, that's true.
he's kind of stuck here. X is just better. X just develops the jade, keeps the threat alive, keeps developing. This is just good Paisho here.
Yeah,
Quits on
really
that
simple
harmony
but
completely.
effective. Yeah,
Was there a
and
ring threat
stops.
here?
I don't think there
Oh,
was.
yes,
Was
there
there?
was. There was with the
Oh,
boat.
was
A
there?
sneaky one with a boat.
Oh, yeah, like this, right? So,
Yeah, like that.
oh, nice.
Good
Nice.
spot, X. Would not have
Yeah,
seen that one.
Thanks, mate.
Gotcha, bro. Okay, just standard
uh,
alt rush happening here. Minkey trying to get any ring thread he can to get a tempo back.
and
Oh,
then there's this sort of thing, right, where like, um, well, Minky plants a chrysanthemum to threaten a capture, and X responds with like the same exact idea, but like in a different gate, which is, and we're gonna see this sort of exchange. And this also happens pretty often, I think.
why the red 3 up
Uh,
top? Why not? Oh, I see, because that 5 is clash safe. So it goes red
yeah, and
3.
also, yeah, when these sort of exchanges happen, they usually benefit whoever's ahead in alts.
And he can plant south
So,
and keep a ring threat and keep developing.
so like,
Very
yeah,
nice.
so in this position here, as X, I would be happy to see uh, the exchange being accepted. What's oh
Okay.
yeah, it's
Quick little
still
ring
still the
threat.
same ring threat, which is
Blocked.
promptly blocked.
But you kind of screwed yourself there. But maybe that was the only
Uh,
option because you blocked your ring threat. But that's all right. Okay.
but yeah, because still ahead in alts anyway.
Oh, and he already had it blocked to 3. Okay. So 3 pieces to 8. I think you're winning. 2 pieces to 8.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's
And
only
threatening.
2-0. That's pretty good.
Yeah. There's this sort of idea,
Very nice.
and yeah, at this point, like,
Elbow
yeah,
boat.
you're so close to like the end game that you might as well just put your accents to good use.
Oh, and it's a
And
ring
there's
win.
and it's a ring win. And wait,
Wow. Textbook match from X. That's some level 7 in the world play. If you played like that every time, you'd be the best. That's good. That's good pie show. Well done, X. Thank you for being a little guest. The next game on the list is from season 3. I think it was a comp game. Maybe not. Not super sure. Our favorite player in
I don't know. I
IPSL.
think Frog is a bit overrated, but you know,
Yeah, here it comes from the #1 Frug lover in the universe. All right, so let's see how this game goes. How does it play out? X's guess, he decides to go with a standard 5, yep, but a non-invading 5. What? I'm playing
wait,
gate control.
X didn't really like how the matches are created.
yeah, there's the chat. There's that private chat between me and X. We hashed that out in DMs. I told him he's got the hardest schedule of anyone at that time. But I think his schedule evened out a little bit. I actually looked at it. The person with the easiest schedule is Polyelf. He's got like a -9 strength of schedule rating. Okay, let me just stop here. I'm just standard. This is standard host play, standard gate control, forcing him to move this. And now he's got some random piece. He chose a 1. Some people really don't like getting stuck here. This is also why I favor that Marco opening, is because you can put your Southern 5 into that L much easier. Okay, what else happens? I open the North up for him. He takes it. Now he's got a piece in the way. This comes into play later because I randomly remember that he's working like that. Early accent. What do we think about this, Gab? Would you accent here like this?
I think it works.
Thinks it works.
I think uh I think it does, yeah.
I think it also works
Uh
since he can just move this 3 out and play it later.
yeah, it sort of slows down the well, the 3 from moving up as you're pointing out.
But he has a 1 and 2, I think.
Yeah.
He's got a 1 and 2. All right, what do? I do this, and I take the north gate. I think that's a good move, especially since he needs that
Threatening to
gate.
take and sort of like further developing.
Very nice, very nice. He frantically plays the 4 down. He's got his win, but it's not an accentless win, so I only need to put one piece in the way. What do I do here? Okay, I decide to go for... Why did I do that? Is this a checkmate? I feel like I only use accents on... It's definitely not. We have 18 moves. I just decided to do that. You can always come here.
Huh.
So, yeah. Interesting. He moves this up. Does a little bit of that. I go double accent. Man, I am... One of these days is going to hurt me bad. I'm chasing ring threats. That's pretty much all I do. That's my kryptonite. He blocks the ring threat. I don't know what that was. I guess I'm making a new ring threat. In 2 now.
Yeah, well, also dealing with like axes.
Blocking a
threat
little.
in a way. Yeah.
Yep. He's gonna eat me. He's gonna try and capture, but I don't really care about those pieces anymore.
Yeah. Because you're pivoting, so you don't really care about that.
Okay, and here, this is a pretty tricky situation. There's a good amount of rings. So maybe it's a forced accent. Is this a forced accent? I guess he could move his 5 up, and that would block. But that's the only non-forced accent.
Can you not move the chrysanthemum as well?
You could do this, yeah. You're right. So either one, this up to block here. Wait, no, that won't work. So just the chrysanthemum. What does he do? He accents. Standard. I would do that too, honestly. Am I just going to chase rings like I normally do? Yep. Okay, now I really like my position. This is great. But I don't have a win. Do I? I do. With the 4, but nothing with the bottom pieces. Okay. He runs away. Play that out. It's pretty threatening. Now he has a win here. Okay, wait, you ready for this move? This is a great move. I remember making this move. Look at this move.
Sure, yeah.
Look at that.
Great. Wait, let me figure it out a bit.
It's an unwheelable 5.
It's an unwillable 5. Okay.
If you pin them like diagonally between 2 pieces, you know what I'm saying? In that specific way, then you can't wheel here or here.
I mean, you can, but it doesn't.
This blocks. Okay.
That blocks. Yeah, true.
I don't have a ring threat. What does he decide to do? He's pressing up. My 5 is still Gucci. I move this 4 in and around a little bit. And he doesn't block. Do you think this is an easy ring to see?
I would have. I think I would have seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Um,
Sorry, we were just glazing him. He missed a ring.
hindsight 2020, right?
Yep. That does happen. He said lol. That's how frustrated he was.
All right, then I want to talk about it, I guess. Sure. Okay, let's go quickly over this sort of game. We're seeing 3-5 and 3-4.
Why did you go 2 boats, Gab? Just a quick summary.
Why did I go 2 boats? I tend to go 2 boats as host, especially because boats are aggressive accents. And so if I plan to play defensively, I go with aggressive accents. Otherwise, if I'm playing aggressively, I go with defensive accents. That's I do think the accents sort of need to complement your playstyle. So depending on like my accent spread, you can sort of tell how I plan to play the game, which might be of help to any player that needs to face me and wants to know what I'm thinking. But I think like at the end of the day, it's like the best way to like choose like an accent spread is to realize that you have knotweeds and rocks that are defensive, and then wheels and boats that are offensive tiles, and you can sort of like choose a spread depending on how aggressive or defensive you want to play.
Sweet. All right, I chose 2 knotweeds because that's how the Marco opening works, which I did not play here.
Yeah, you did not play. I played the 3-4-5, which I mentioned earlier in our previous analysis. But we're not gonna go into like a standard line from like 3-4-5 because we're gonna see some interesting play here. Because this sort of standard, like developing the 4 and then threatening to take, moving away. But usually here, we tend to see a sort of like development of some kind. Because I think in this position here, Gas still wants to like go into like contact harmonies and gain tempo and whatnot. Instead, you decide to move down. Can you, walk us into this sort of theory?
It's because I wanted to get a red 5 to that L, to the quadrant A L. Because I felt like it would be quick there, and I looked at my tiles and I said, okay, if I harmonize 2 more off of those 2, it'll line up. I don't know how this game goes. This was a whole week ago, but continue on.
Wait, no, I didn't understand. So what do you mean you wanted to get a red 5 here?
No, red 5 in quadrant 1, the L, the 1-1. 1-1 on the board.
What's quadrant 1
1,
L?
comma 1.
Oh, 1-1 here?
Yes. Red 5 there.
Okay. And how does this move play into getting a red 5 here?
Because I can play that 3 out 1 step, then put a 4 in behind it, or a lotus. And then I could play that 4 down and put a white 3 in, and so both the 4 and the white 3 harmonize with the red 5.
Okay,
Let's
sure.
play it out. See if I ever did it. I don't know if I did. Oh, wow, I definitely did it. Okay.
Yeah, so
All day yapping for nothing. And I go vertical on a brother. I'm going vertical with a lotus, maybe? What are you doing?
I'm developing.
Okay.
I planted a 5 because the idea is I can always go here afterwards and sort of have this harmony set up. And there's also going to be like basically the whole idea of planting a 5 here was to um, effectively block you from using my Lotus from Westgate.
Smart.
So yeah, I gotta go. Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye, X.
Yeah. So I think the follow-up here is planting a 3, and then because there's always the idea of like invasion, right? So if nothing happens in this sort of position, I can always just plant the 3, plant the 5, move the 5. I didn't even need to plant the 3 if I had wanted to go in, but the reason I wanted to plant the 3 is because it gives me versatility afterwards. If I need to move the Lotus away, I still have sort of like a developed ring thread, and I can play here and then move this away and still block you from using the Lotus, if that makes sense.
I'm seeing it. Yours had a lot more thought than mine. Mine was just get box, make box around center.
Yeah, which is sort of what you do here. Now, fun fact about this move, I did not realize that it was not wheelable until like a few moves later. This move turned out to be stronger than I originally thought. And this position here, I actually like. I was upset at myself because I was like, oh, I could have instead of developing this, I could have moved here preemptively, blocking you from making the harmony, which is a line I had considered. But then it would have left you with this sort of idea as well, which I didn't like. So I did let you develop the Lotus and then blocked you afterwards. And you go, you start developing here. Because at this point, after you planted your 2 accent flowers, you can't really gate block as easily, right?
It's true. You go
And so I
north. Okay.
sort of do that. And again, this sort of plant here, again, it comes from the fact that I didn't realize that this wasn't wheelable, and I thought you still had like a winning 2 sort of idea.
Mm.
And so I thought, oh yeah, I can just block here. I think eventually I realized I move here maybe afterwards, right? You threaten. I'm in no rush. I can just move away and sort of still block this, but also like have this sort of idea this, which is what I was working on earlier. Yeah, so you develop and block this harmony, but again, I developed here specifically because I wanted to go here afterwards. So yeah, so eventually I realized, okay, it's not willable, so I'm moving here. But originally I had planted it because I wanted to move here, and I planted 5. Okay. Now this is sort of like an interesting position because you don't have contact harmony like readily available. Well, you don't have it south because the dragon or orchid, however you want to call it, doesn't harmonize with anything. So the moment you plant the dragon or orchid south, you effectively lose control of that gate. And then you don't have control of west gate because there's no harmony that you can make from east gate, which is why I was expecting you at some point to move up, but I don't think you ever did.
Hey, that's the move I thought I would make. There we go. Okay. I'm playing like I
Yeah,
thought I would play.
you threatened to take, but I just move away. And yeah, you develop, and I develop as well.
Do I clear my
And this
south gate?
Yeah, you move. Wait, no, you move
Oh,
away, so you don't wanna, because you don't wanna get captured. I
oh,
think.
I see, I see.
And I keep developing. So the I think one of the main motives when you're sort of gate blocked is to develop as many pieces as possible, because that way you're in an advantage when it comes to alts if like your opponent sort of gets out and starts developing as well.
I would agree.
And now this move, gosh, this move here, it's pretty interesting, right?
Tell me why it's interesting. I think it's pretty standard.
I don't think it's I don't think it's a standard, because you are
Okay, yeah, I think I
uh
forgot that it was wild. I definitely think that.
yeah, it's oh okay, sure, by X. Yeah, so it's wild, right? So it's threatening to take. And the threats here are multiple. Because first of all, well, you have to develop, because now you have the sort of contact harmony,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, here. And you can sort of start developing as well and get this sort of threat up as well. But I cannot really deal with it, because, well, you can sort of, well,
Yeah,
you
you
could
can't
have
take.
stacked it. You could have stacked it. You could have blocked. Sorry, you
I
could have
was
blocked
thinking
my
about that. I was thinking about that move.
blocking like 3 flowers, which is like a
Yeah, why didn't I
great
think of
use of.
that? I think I was
Huh?
only thinking I had to put it in 5-1, but I could have just freaking put it 5-2.
5
Oops.
-2. No, because originally I thought, oh, I'm just gonna move here. I'm gonna block the harmony. But then, if we go into sandbox for a sec, uh, wait, how do I go into sandbox without losing the position?
You're gonna lose it. Yeah,
Uh,
that's how sandbox works.
uh, gosh darn it.
You lose the
Whatever.
position.
17G. Okay. If I block the harmony, you have a series of uh, ideas here, uh, which can obviously, you still have this, but you're probably not interested in that. You might have gone for this. That's what I was thinking about. And this is sort of like a big mess for me.
Dude, I had so many cool opportunities and I did nothing. Oh wow, my brain
Yeah.
is not big enough.
No, you'll see that I made like an interesting move that sort of blocked this whole idea. But yeah, in this position I wouldn't have been able to take, because when it won.
Uh-huh. Man,
So
it's way cooler.
that's why I didn't like this line
So
specifically
what actually happened?
is
Because
the
I went
reason why
down
I
and
didn't.
I don't remember what actually
Sure.
happened.
Let me pull it up. IPSL. Was it week 3? Yeah. Oh, week
Yeah,
4. No, week 3.
yeah, week 3.
Uh,
Okay,
I
you do one of
used the
these. Whoa!
so this kills this idea, because then I can take, obviously, and it blocks the harmony.
How many undos were there for
Yeah.
that bad boy?
For
No.
this,
Yeah,
I don't think there were undos. Were there?
toggle move on.
How do you wait?
Does move log
I'm
even
pressing
work with
buttons.
this layout? I don't even know if move log works with this layout. The
Do
2G
I
theme.
change
It's whatever. It's all
classic
right.
document?
I don't. You probably didn't.
Wait, do I need to like? Oh, okay, never mind. I should probably refresh.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, we'll just
Yeah.
edit this out.
Yeah, we'll edit this out. Well, you'll edit this out, I guess.
Yeah, I'll edit this out. Okay, I must have been off the zonker because I do not remember that move. And if I had seen that, I would have like called you and been like, "What the hell is that?" Man, what? That's the bad thing about Harold Warner. If you never remember what happened. All right.
Yeah, that's like a pretty good move, right? Like it's a good like accent use.
Yeah, I liked that a lot. I thought that was great, especially since
And this
now
is like
that
I think this is
4
where
is
like
like
you.
incredible.
I, I saw this and I was very confused because I was like, surely you could have still developed, right? And actually,
Why did you want me to go? I like having 2 rings.
right, but okay, so
You're
because
saying
of
I'm
this
so
idea.
behind on pieces?
Oh no. It's because of this idea, right? So in this position here, I planted the dragon, and I was actually expecting you to well trade because here's the okay. Uh, so I'm assuming you understood why I moved here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I didn't mention about this move, right? For those that are following, is that I couldn't take
Yeah, you couldn't
because of
take.
this harmony.
No takes were
Okay,
allowed.
so
So now he lets himself
I moved
take.
here, and now suddenly, I'm threatening to take the orchid. I was expecting a sort of this line, which would have been something like this, I think. Go here to defend it. Oh, actually, I think go here to defend it, and then I would have taken, and you would have been like you would have gotten like
Planted a lily or
no,
something. Oh,
pardon?
no, never mind. Interesting. Yeah. What did I
Yeah, I
do?
think
What did I
like
do?
it
I
would
was
have.
dying to know.
Oh
What did
yeah,
I end
you.
up doing on 20H?
Oops. You ended up.
Is that Opera GX?
Oh, and also like before I moved here, the reason I was confused about you planting is because you still had the chance to do this sort of line, but you would have been up a piece. Like in this position here, there is an argument to be made that you could have simply gone for like a different sort of take, and then if I had developed, I would have developed like if you had gone here to threaten a take of some sort, I would have still planted the dragon, and then there would have been like an exchange, but you would have been up a piece. Instead, since you decided to plant, I still developed the dragon, but the exchange would have been equal, and well, yeah.
Interesting. But
Well,
in
actually, no, it would
real
have been
life, what happens?
no, it wouldn't have been equal. I would have been up a piece. In real life, this happened. So in real life, you went here regardless.
Hell yeah.
And so I took this for free. And this is like, I
Interesting.
think, yeah, I
Yeah.
think this is a really bad move. I never understand um, wild orchids or wild dragons capturing a lotus when there's like the other wild dragon out, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I haven't really thought through this.
Because
I think I was just over it at this point.
Because at this point, like you could have planted and threatened a take, and if that would have happened, I still would have developed here and then sort of like traded if you had wanted to. Instead, by taking the lotus, I don't know what this does. It only protects my
Just
dragon,
protects
right?
my lotus.
Yeah, and I
I
just
thought
take
you were
it,
coming
and
for my
then
lotus. I was like, I don't know.
why would I go for your
I don't know.
lotus?
Hey, we've got a lot to work on apparently. It's good to know.
It's pretty useless. Like your lotus here is pretty useless, I think. I don't know. And then here is just like development. At this point, this is like a really bad situation for you because now you have to give up either gate, and either gate allows me to develop a threat. Like I have this sort of threat incoming, and I also have this sort of threat developed, right? So whatever gate you decide to give up, I develop a
The
threat.
Sons of playing gate control.
And pardon?
I said that's just part of the game. That's just what happens when you play gate control. But no, I definitely was not locked in here. I'm down 5 pieces of material. I still have all my accents.
And then I developed like the horizontal threat. And I think here I spent a bit here because I was like, I'm not quite sure what you're doing here. I think, was there a threat in 3 maybe?
Yeah, there's a threat in 1. Or
Oh, there's a
2,
threat
at
in 1
least
here?
2. At least 2. Because if you move that 4 into the crevice that I blocked off with my knotweed, like pre-knotweed, you have a win in 2. You moved that 4 in either with a.
Oh yeah, no. Sorry. Yeah, I understand why you used it. I was asking about this sort of idea. Like, what
What
was
I'm doing
the? Oh,
here?
sorry.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm gonna be honest, I have no clue.
And then
But,
this sort of sets up 2 threats, right? There's like this accent threat by removing this with a boat, and then there's this which is accentless. And I don't know if you
I don't
whether
even
you
think I
saw it
saw
or
that. What did I lose to? Did I block either of them? I blocked one of them.
you blocked this one and you didn't block this one.
Oh,
In this
didn't see
position,
that one.
I don't know if there's a way to block both. Is there? Or maybe not with here, maybe. No, but then this still wins.
Am I in accent lock?
So,
I have no available harmonies.
No, as in this position, right?
Yeah, do I have no available harmonies?
No, you do. I think you do, right? You must do, right?
1, 2, 3, 4. That's not real.
Wait, are you? No. You have this, for example.
Oh. Yes.
But then
Okay.
I'm thinking, how do you block both threats? Because they're completely different threats.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that is just bunzo.
I think it might have been. Yeah. I think it might have been checkmate, but good game regardless.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah,
All
good
right.
stuff.
Well, real quick, I'm just gonna pull up some random stat lines. Currently, Holly Elf is 12-0. Come beat Holly Elf. He's 12-0. Minkey has a good amount of experience. Latest board shifts. Have we looked at the standings? Minkey's in 9th, X is in 8th, I guess. What am I looking at? Where's 8? X is in 8th. I'm in 10th. And 7 through 4 are all inactive players. But yep, this is the IPSL podcast. If you are interested in learning how to play Paisho, check out MinkeyAqua's YouTube channel. It'll be linked in the description of the YouTube video. If you want to play, scudpaisho.com. Discord is something/something/something, but you can find it. And we will see you next week with more Paisho content. Alrighty.